that network is considered untrustworthy until proven otherwise. So it is something like what I was saying: deny all, allow some, or allow only when you find out, okay, yeah, it is trustworthy. He had a guest. He left on it.
He might be back. Yeah, his backpack's still here. So.
He is here. Oh, we have one more. We are almost done, by the way. So zero trust security is basically, now here there is something very important given. If you look at the screen, guys, Mr. Syed, it seems like you're doing very important work where everyone is getting involved. Mr. Syed?
Yes, sir.
It seems you are doing very important work where everyone else is getting involved. So what is that important work?
Yes.
I'm asking you, what is that important work?
The practice for the exam.
So should I stop this and you guys do the practice?
No, we carry on with this. I'll do the practice.
Thank you. Alright, so here attack surface. Basically, attack surface is
Resources are individually protected rather than defining a larger network space with protected resources.
Now can you explain it?
The attack resources?
Explain also. When you are reading it, then better you explain it as well.
Also segmentation.
Attack surface is like, for example, if a country wants to protect itself, then what it is supposed to protect? Borders, right? It's supposed to protect its borders.
And people.
Borders from which are sharing borders with other countries, right? Or borders from sea waters or seaside. Same is true with this security as well, that you need to reduce the attack surface. And the same thing, we come to the same point where we started. We need to look at the all open ports, and we need to block all the ports. We need to close all the possible entrances so that I can reduce my attack surface. That is my point. For example, if you are going for a war, then you must have seen in various movies, like when they're going on a mission, they wear a lot of gears, right? Life jacket, bulletproof jacket, and then helmet and all those things. What they are doing is they are reducing, or they're increasing their protection. That means reducing their attack surface. Segmentations are the resources are isolated from other resources by requiring authenticated communication between them. We talked about this in the segmentation chapter or segment chapter, where we can create multiple segments of our network. So that whenever you create segments, so there is a segment where all the servers are, there is a segment where all the guests are, there is a segment where all the other users are. All segments you have created. Now, if anyone wants to go to these servers, they cannot go directly, they have to go with or through a router. Or you can place firewall here, you can place other security mechanism here through which they need to pass. And that way you can protect your servers more better. Authentication, access management, observability, these are the other terms we already discussed about authentication, access management. And then zero trust architecture, which is same as here, zero trust security, where you trust no one, and only allow after proper authentication. Then only you will allow. You do not allow anyone to enter in your house. The same theory is here. Secure Access Service Edge, or SASE, which is basically a theoretical model that merges your software-defined network services and zero trust security principles. So these are the few terms. which you should know for your future use. These are some lists of SASE based approaches for the cyber security. See, everything is associated with the cyber security, and I'm repeating it multiple times now again. If you are going for cyber security or any security major in future, these types of terms or these subjects are so important for you guys. If you are not paying attention, then I don't know how you're gonna survive here. Okay, so that's all about this chapter as well. Let's look at the last chapter also, which is nothing but performance and recovery. Quickly we will go through it. We'll see what it talks about. Okay, performance and recovery. So these are the objectives. Tools, appropriate tools to collect data about the network, explain the methods to optimize your network performance, and best practices for incident response and disaster recovery, which is an important part in cyber security. Basically, this third point is about the continuation of service. See, whenever we are working in the IT industry and mainly in the infrastructure or networking, we should be looking at the continuity of service. That my service should be continue all the time and every time. And how can I do that? By removing this single point of failure. By removing single point of failure from our network, and how we can do that? By introducing redundancy. By introducing redundancy in the system, we can remove the single point of failure. Okay? In our homes, we do not use, but in industry, we generally use this concept. For example, we have multiple supply lines, power lines, multiple power lines. Okay? Maximum, let's say we have 2 power lines from the outer world. Then apart from that, we have 2 generators, diesel generators. This is the main, this is the secondary. This is the main, this is secondary. Everything is double. If I need only one unit of the particular item, then I must have 2. My need is just one, right? I can run my operation by having just one item of that thing, that type, but in order to keep it for any eventuality or anything which may fail, then I need 2. So it is the concept of n plus 1 or n plus m. N plus 1 means if I need 1, then I must have 2. If I need 3, then I must have 4. What is n plus m? If I need 3, right? I'm keeping only 1 for the redundancy, so that my operation, if 1 fails, so let's say I have 3 generators, and I'm keeping 1 more extra for redundancy. If 1 fails, then I will use this one, right? If this also fails, then this is already failed, but this also fails. What happens then? Can I run my operations?
Oh, no.
No. Then n plus m comes. You will use 3 for the active operation but you will keep 2 for the standby. 2 for the standby. Because you are anticipating a situation where more than one genset fails. You are anticipating it. How many spare tires we have in our car? One. If one fails, I can replace it. If 2 fails, can I run my car? No.
No.
But can I have 2 tires? In a highly important or critical vehicles, we have 2 tires, or rather we have more than 2 tires. Just imagine the vehicle which is taking your space shuttle from this place where they manufacture it to the launch station. It has a lot of wheels. But can they afford failing of 1 or 2 tires? No, they can't. So they always use 2 tires on both sides. 2, 2, 2, 2. They do not use 1 tire on each side. In those semi trucks, you see, there are multiple axles and multiple tires. So that if one fails, they can safely stop their vehicle and replace that failed tire. That's why they have 2 tires on both sides. If both fail simultaneously, then they cannot keep their trucks in a vertical position. It will topple over. So this is N plus 1 and N plus M concept works in the industry, where either we use 1 standby unit or we use more than 1 standby unit. It all depends on the criticality of my operations. How critical my operations are. For example, hospitals. How critical your hospital power supply is?
Very critical.
But in hospital, there are various areas or various places where we are providing power supply. There is a canteen, there is an operation theater, there is an ICU, there is a parking lot, there is a lobby. Which one is most critical?
Or the ICU.
ICU, operation theater, isn't it? These are the patient rooms or patient wards. Those places are the most critical one in your hospitals. Parking lot? No. If the power fails, do I immediately supply power to the parking lot? No. Do I immediately need to supply the power to the lobby? No. But operation theater? Yes. ICU? Yes. Now, if I say that power supply, I have 2 power supply, I have 2 gensets, but when both the power supply are down, one genset will kick off, but before this genset kick off, it takes 20 seconds. So there is a gap of 20 seconds. How can you fill that gap? Or can you afford losing power for the whole 20 seconds in your ICU? No, you can't. The patient may die. So how can you fill that 20 seconds? What is available in your mind, or what do you think that I can put there to provide the power supply for these 20 seconds? And now can you imagine how these 20 seconds are crucial for you or for someone?
UPS.
What is that I need to put there for this 20 seconds?
UPS.
UPS.
Oh yeah.
UPS, uninterrupted power supply. So why we are doing that? Just to keep that power continuity in the system. So we need to ensure this continuity everywhere, or other places too, such as your banking system or the financial system. The whole world financial system is kind of connected together these days, right? Your stock market, if your stock market is down for a minute or for a second or for 10 seconds, then how much you may lose, or country may lose or the people who are associated with the stock market may lose. So they will do this loss and investment analysis. How much loss would be there and how much I need to invest in order to prevent this loss. How much I need to invest in order to prevent this loss. What is that loss? That I may have this 20 seconds, so I can put a UPS here. UPS doesn't come free, right? You have to put some money. And you need to find out what is the importance of that UPS. What it is doing in your system. Does it really providing something? You are not putting UPS for the parking system, parking area. You are putting UPS only for the ICU or only for the operation theater. Later generators will kick off and they will fill in the gap. When the gensets are on, you can provide the power supply to your parking lots as well. But not immediately. Not immediately. So objective here is that I should ensure the continuity of the services and how critical those services are for my business. So every business has its own critical areas of operation. And we need to put those measures in place so that I do not lose that continuity. For example, this Blackboard system. We all are using Blackboard system. If the Blackboard system does not available for a day, what may happen? What may happen if Blackboard system is not available for a day?
Assignments won't be able to turn on.
You won't be able to turn in the assignment, right? Is there any life and death situation?
No.
No. So how critical it is? Not that critical.
No.
It may down for a day or two, doesn't bother, doesn't happen, or doesn't cause much. Correct?
Yep.
So again, I'm trying to say here is you need to calculate your loss. If the system is not available, then how much loss you will have? And if I want to keep that system running, so if I have only one system in place, let's say there is only single server was there, and if single server is not available for 24 hours, I may lose 100K. What is the cost if I need to prevent this downtime? If I need to prevent this downtime, I need to put a second server. And the second server cost me 50K. Now you may say that 100K is too much to 50K compared to 50K, but how much? 50%, right? You need to know that how many times during the year I may have this type of downtime. Once, twice. If I have, let's say, 3-4 times during the year, I have this downtime, so my loss will be this much. Compare. What do you prefer?
The second one.
Second server. You prefer second server. So you put a second server so that your services keep running. If one fails, then you have a standby. Now, on this standby also we have two types of standby. Listen very carefully. One is called hot standby, another one is called warm standby, and the third type of called cold standby. Hot standby, warm standby, cold standby. Hot standby is like duplicate. Exact duplicate. Whatever services, licenses, software are there on this server, everything is available on this server as well. Data is here. Data is not on this server. Data is at the central location. So both can access the data. Don't worry about the data. Okay? But rest of the things, services, database, application, and everything is available on both the servers. Exactly. So if this fails, it will be up and running in no time. That is called hot standby. Okay. Then warm standby. Warm standby is I'm having everything on this server, but this is powered down. I'm not keeping it powered up all the time. It is powered down. So the moment this will go down, I need to power this up, which may take 5 minutes. I need to make it hot. It is warm. Everything is ready. All the applications are there. Everything is, but it is powered down. Last one is cold. Means I have the server. OS is there, but nothing else. I have the hardware is there, OS is there, but I don't have anything else. I need to prepare this machine equal to this machine so that it can function. It may take few hours. Then there are other things also associated with this, like which is known as RPO and RTO, and then MTTR and MTBF. These are the other terms which are associated with this part of discussion. Let's see if we have these terms here. So network data collection is happening with the help of various types of logging applications. Environmental monitoring, which is basically related to your device rack, room temperature, humidity, dew point, flooding, smoke or fire, airflow. These things happens a lot. We need to take care of all these things in the data centers. We do not take care of all this in our homes. But in a large scale enterprises or data centers, we need to take care of all this. That is everything associated. Everything is being monitored, and we are using different devices to monitor all these items, all these factors. Environmental factors. Traffic monitoring tools, these are the network traffic monitoring tools, and generally it is not allowed for everyone. Only authorized users can use these type of tools in the network, such as network monitor, protocol analyzer, and all that. We have read about these applications before. I'm not repeating it. Inline monitoring, port mirroring, wireless monitoring, reporting. A lot of things happens in the network while we are working or using it. Some network monitoring tools can perform the following functions: capture the network, analyze the data packets. If someone is trying to use the network for some fraudulent activities, something like that. We need to monitor, or you can do the protocol analyzers, can use traffic analysis to identify the followings like runs, giants, jabber, ghosts, packet loss, discarded packets, interface resets, event viewer, syslog. These are the various applications which we are using to capture the data on the logs. Log data basically. Log data can be captured by these applications. Syslog is basically doing the two things, generator and collector. Generator is basically taking care of all the data generating applications, and it also collects the data from these applications. Then SNMP communication. SNMP is a protocol, or you can say sub-protocol of TCP/IP suite, which is basically taking care of device monitoring, SNMP. Then we have NMS, Network Management System. Then MIB is Management Information Base. MIB is a very, very old, one of the oldest database in the world, which takes care of the list of objects managed by NMS. Means NMS, Network Management System, can manage the data or devices which are being listed in MIB. See, tomorrow Richard started a business and started manufacturing some hardwares. And he started selling those hardwares and you guys purchased that hardware. That hardware does not recognized by the operating system because that hardware is not registered in MIB. MIB is not the one which is man in black, no? So this is MIB, Management Information Base. I'm telling you, it's a huge database. And you can see it actually. Management Information Base. So it is basically, see that it contains information about the devices and the responses those devices can make for different protocols. It's a big database. It is just a small example. Okay. So it is structured in this way, like SNMP V2 MIB. So this is the MIB. Do you see that number 136121? So it is basically telling you that how deep it goes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 level deep it is. It is 6 level. This is 0.1. This is one level, 0.1. This is another level, which is also 0.1. Then it is another level here, another level here. But this level belongs to some other level. So this MIB contains the information and the response that can be recognized by a protocol for a particular type of hardware. If the hardware doesn't have the entry in this MIB, then hardware may not be recognized by certain protocols or any protocol. No protocol can identify that hardware. So this MIB can only, so NMS can only recognize those devices which are registered with MIB. So my network management system, which is monitoring the network devices, can only monitor those devices which are supported by MIB. So it is something like legal and illegal kind of scenario. Sorry to use that word, but use it. It is like that. So if it is not registered in MIB, it is illegal hardware. Like a phone, a mobile phone without IMEI number, or a fraudulent or duplicate IMEI number. Traffic monitoring tool. So these are the SNMP protocol thing. And SNMP is a very common protocol for monitoring various networking components. And it is working on the concept of send a signal and receive it back. Send a signal, receive it back. So that means it is collecting the data from the connected network device. SNM V2, V3, V1, V2, V3, and I think V4 is also there. If let's see, let's find out if SNMP. Yeah, version 1, 2, 3. Yeah, it's only 3. 1, 2, 3. So again, depending on what device what type of SNMP version your device is supporting, that is also important. You need to make sure that my device is supporting V1 or V2 or V3. The application which you are using to monitor your devices are supporting all 3. Right? And network flow, which is collecting the information. So if you imagine, or if you just close your eyes and try to imagine how many different types of data is flowing in your network, you will be amazed. It's a lot of data. And not just lot of data, it is different types of data. Different types of data also flowing in the network. And every data has its own identity. It does not mix up. It does not mix up at all from one type of data to other type of data. Then you have cloud observability, which is ability to capture internal system information in order to analyze and respond to it. Basically, it is using logs to control or to observe what is happening in the cloud. Manage network traffic. So, in order to ensure the good and optimal performance of your network, you have to see how much data is flowing in the network. And then sometimes you need to create segments. If your segment is getting too big to handle the network traffic, then you have to create smaller segments. Remember, when we studied about the segment, the main idea was to distribute the traffic and to secure the network. These are the two ideas behind the segments or segmentation of network. Then baseline. Baseline is basically a normal state of operation. What is your baseline? Either you go beyond the baseline or you go below the baseline. If you are going beyond the baseline, then you are performing well. If you are going below the baseline, then there is a performance issue. Then you have to do something about your network so that you can improve the performance of that application or the network. Bandwidth management you need to do various times by doing a flow control, congestion control, and ensuring the quality of service. Quality of service can be ensured by prioritizing some traffic over the other. For example, president of an organization will get the better bandwidth than a student or a common employee of that organization, or the guest of that organization, visitor you can say, right? Or the employee of that organization should get a 5 gigahertz access to the network instead of 2.4 gigahertz. Flow control. So it's a bandwidth management technique configured on a local connection between two devices. So how you gonna control the flow of network data between the two devices, such as your computer and the router. Congestion control. How can you avoid the congestion? As I said before, segmentation is one of the method of doing that, but other things are like open loop congestion techniques, retransmission policy, which is basically helps in reducing the increasing retransmission timers. You can set the timers, means if there is a data loss, see, in order to understand the retransmission, we need to go back a little bit. Why retransmission happens? So retransmission happens only when there is a data loss. And if data loss is there, then the sending device will keep retransmitting the data packets to the receiver. So what you can do is you can put a timer that if you are retransmitting, then you wait for a few seconds and then retransmit so that you can avoid congestion. You can also set the window policy. Window policy is basically negotiation between the sender and the receiver. Just read about it, because if I say here, then definitely nothing will stay in your brains. It's a negotiation policy, like how much I can send so that you can receive it. How much should I send so that you can receive it? That's a window policy. Then acknowledgement policy, discarding policy, admission policy. Now these all activities happens in your network. Every time you are sending a packet, your receiver is going to acknowledge it. If you are broadcasting a message, then some of the systems going to discard it. And routers and switches can temporarily reject new traffic that will contribute or create congestion rather than admitting that new traffic into the network. So it is basically they are completely ignoring new traffic to the network when they see there is a congestion going on in the network. So these all are the various options which you can use with the help of different kinds of devices to avoid congestion in your network. There is a quality of service. Quality of service is basically someone need better network, someone is not, or someone has higher priority and someone has lower priority for the resources. Traffic shaping is one of the technique. Buffering, delaying, which is not important. The traffic which is not important will get a. So if you see in the train tracks or railroads, generally it happens. You have a single track, up down, single track where the rails are running. You have a single track between the two cities, city A, city B. You have a single track. At some point you have additional lines. At some points you have some additional lines. Okay. So what happens? There can be a train in this direction, there can be a train in this direction. How they gonna run trains in opposite direction on the same track? Can they?
You have a loop.
So this is a loop line. So you have to put the train on the loop line. You have to identify which train is less important. You put that train on the loop line and let the other train pass. Same is happening in your network. You are keeping your important traffic in the network or giving it more priority, and you buffer your less important traffic. Buffer your less important. Keep it separate. Okay, stay here. Wait for a minute and let the. So that is a part of quality of service. Now, again, if you notice that this is a separate department or division in the network services, that you will be doing a job of maintaining the QoS of the network. You are monitoring the network traffic and you are doing this job of buffering some traffic and letting other traffic go. So you are not doing any security here, you are just taking care of QoS. You are creating such policies in your network that if the packet is coming from this particular address, should go through where the packet from this address should wait. That's the way you can improve the performance of the network. A traffic or the network signals or the messages coming from the president's office should pass at the highest priority compared to other messages. Right? Right? So it's a very basic concept. You must have seen in certain cases airlines put a tag on your luggage priority. Right? Delta does most of the time. If you have Delta priority boarding, they put a tag on your luggage priority. So that bag comes first. When you deboarded the plane and go to the conveyor belt to collect your luggage, priority bags comes first. And the other bags comes later. So how they do that? So by having some policy. If they do not have policy, they don't know about that priority, then there is nothing going to happen. Plan, response, recovery, just read about it. Incident response. If any incident happens, then what you should do. And that is something you will be learning in more detail in the in your cyber security and forensic subject as well, forensic class. So incident response plan, preparation, detection and identification, containment, remediation, recovery and review. Incident, something like someone hacked into your system, that is an incident. So what will you do when this kind of thing happen? someone stolen some data, or data was stolen from your network, then what will you do? So every incident has a certain set standard or set method of sequence of response, and that is the number of steps. Data preservation is the important. Secure the area. It's something like you are doing an investigation, like a security officer or like an investigator of a case. You are securing the area, document the scene, monitor evidence and data collection, protect the chain of custody so that you do not lose your important evidences. Monitor transport of data and equipment. You should transport your evidences in such a way that it will not destroy, it will not get damaged, because your evidence is, most of the time, it's an electronic component. It's an electronic component, and electronic components can be damaged by electromagnetic waves from a remote place. If you throw the electromagnetic waves on your electronic components, the data will get damaged, your evidence is destroyed. So you will learn, how can I protect this chain of custody? Have you heard about the Faraday bag? Faraday bag. It's a component, it's a device, not device, sorry, it's a bag kind of a thing. It is used to protect the electronic devices from any electromagnetic interferences. Faraday cage. So it's a Faraday cage, or Faraday shield, or Faraday bag. So these is an enclosure used to block some electromagnetic fields. So we have the bags also available these days. Here. So Faraday bags. For example, you are carrying your laptop. You are carrying your laptop, phone, or let's say somebody projected some electromagnetic field, a very strong electromagnetic field on your bag. The whole laptop will get destroyed. Nothing will happen physically to your laptop. Only the data will get damaged. Means it will remain as it is, not a single mark on your laptop, but your data will get damaged because of this electromagnetic waves. So you have these Faraday bags, which you can use to, which generally we use to protect such type of evidences from any destruction of the data. Because protecting your evidence is the most important thing here. Then you have disaster recovery planning. So we have, that's what I was talking about in the beginning. Business continuity plan. So your objective is ensure the business continuity. And for that we need to introduce redundancy as well. We need to prepare the disaster recovery plan, that I should have 2 gensets, or should I have 2 servers, or should I have multiple power lines, or should I have multiple internet connections. It all depends on how critical your operation is. We never have multiple internet connections at home. No. Right? Do we? No, we don't. Because it is not that critical for us. So that is the part of disaster recovery planning, which is also an important part in general. And this disaster recovery, it's not only a part of network. It is, you are studying this in the network topic, but it's not a network topic. It's completely separate subject altogether. Because you do disaster recovery planning for everything, for network, for servers, for data, for storage, for everything you do disaster recovery plan. And in every subject you will be studying about disaster recovery contingencies. So I was telling you about cold side, warm side, hot side, right? hot backup or warm backup or cold backup.
Okay.
What is cold side, what is warm side, what is hot side. So you know, everything is ready to use hot side. You need some action required before you can bring it online, warm side. A lot of work is required before you bring it online, cold side. Then you have disaster recovery as a service, DRAS provides. This is basically becoming a part of cloud these days. Power management. Now I was talking about certain terms, RPO, RTO, RTO. These are the terms which are required in disaster recovery. Not return to works. Recovery time objective. This is called RTO. What is RTO? Is recovery time objective. So what it is, the meaning of it is the amount of time a business has to restore its operation to an acceptable level after disaster in order to avoid continued business interruption and intolerable data loss. It is like how much time you need or you can afford to bring your services online. Your tire, you are replacing your tire. So you were driving on the road and your tire lost the air pressure. Now you need to replace your tire. So how much time you are going to need or you are going to invest in replacing that tire so that you can come back on the road again? Recovery time objective. How much time? So again, this thing is related to this hot side, warm side, cold side. Which side will take least amount of time? Can you tell me? Which side will take least RTO?
Hot side.
Hot side.
Yeah.
Definitely hot side will take least RTO. So that is your RTO. And then other one is called RPO. RPO is known as recovery point objective. The same website, recovery point objective is the maximum acceptable amount of data loss possible after an unexpected disaster event involving data loss. Example of such events include widespread power outages or damage to the hard drives in a server and Trojan. Basically, it is related to, let's say my services was down for 15 minutes. My services were down for 15 minutes. So in 15 minutes, how much data loss we may have? How much data loss we may have?
It could be a lot.
It could be a lot, it could be negligible, it could be none. So again, these type of things answers your question on, remember one thing, these type of things answer the question for loss. How much loss you can afford, RPO. Then we have something called MTTR. One is mean time to respond, otherwise there is also known as mean time to repair. It's almost same. Mean time to repair and mean time to respond. MTTR. How much time it will take to repair everything, mean time to repair. And then there is something called MTBF, mean time between failures. From one failure to other failure, if your tires are good enough, your MTBF will be high. If your tires are worn out, bad, then your MTBF will be smaller. If your MTBF is smaller, then means your devices are not good at all. It's a time to replace your devices. It's a complete overhaul required. MTBF. So you should not have a small MTBF, a larger MTBF. So what is the formula for? Formula for MTBF is total uptime divided by number of failures. If you have more number of devices, then your MTBF is smaller. It's a very, very simple concept. Now, I have one hard drive. I have only one hard drive, just one. Right? If you use this formula, total uptime, number of failures. But if you have more than one devices, then it will be multiplied by number of devices. If you have more devices, then in this formula you will multiply by number of devices. So your MTBF, not multiply, divide by number of devices. Sorry. This total uptime divide by number of failures into number of devices. So your MTBF will further reduce if you have more number of devices. For example, in this room I have 40 computers. One computer may fail every day. One computer may fail every day. So your MTBF goes low. If you have just one computer in your room which may fail once in 4 years, your MTBF is quite high. But if you have more number of devices, then there is a chances of failing one device every now and then. So your MTBF will go low. So these are the things we need to understand when you are talking about all these things like disaster recovery, like DR sites and all that. Power management is again surge, noise, drown out or blackout. PDUs, power distribution, UPS, uninterrupted power supply, standby UPS, online UPS. So every type of device has its own cost, and based on the losses, I decide whether I will go for standby UPS or I should go for online UPS. Again, everything has its own cost. If you have hot site, the most costly. Warm site, less costly. Cold site, least costly. That is how you decide how much I should be investing. Backup systems. Backup system is again redundant system. Mr. Sayed.
Sorry, sir. My mistake.
No, you are repeating your mistake. You are a repeat offender, I would say.
Carry on.
I pointed out last week or before that also that you should not do this mouse click because you are sitting in the front table. Right?
Yes,
That
sir.
causes a lot of disturbance here. If you stand here and you hear that click, click, click every time, you will feel it.
Understood, sir.
And that breaks the flow. That breaks the flow completely. What I was talking about, I don't remember. Right, the backup system is, the backup is copy. Now you know backup, why we need backup. And backups are not always ready for the use. Some things I will take the example of your spare tire. Does the spare tire as good as your regular tires?
Yeah.
No. So backups are not always as good as your original device, but they may help you in continuing your services, continuing your operation. But you cannot survive with them for a long period of time. You have to repair your actual system and come back or replace your backup system with the actual system so that it can keep going. Remember what to back up. Not everything we need to back up. For example, if I look at my phone, do I need to back up all the photos I have on my phone? No, not necessary. I need to decide what all I need to back up from my phone. So that is something what we need to decide. What to back up? What is the method you would like to use for backup? You want to upload it on the cloud, you want to back up it on your USB drive or something. Decide what types of backup will be made regularly, decide how often backups are needed, develop a backup schedule, regularly verify backups are being performed. You must have a backup policy. Backup policy. Now backups are available in different format. Backup is called full backup. Backup is called incremental backup. Incremental backup. Backup is called differential backup. There are three types of backups we have: full, incremental, and differential. Full is full, right? So whatever I have on my disk, I will back up everything. That is full backup. Once a month, I can do full backup. Incremental backup is only day by day. I will do the backup on Monday, on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then I will repeat it next week. Do I keep the backup for the previous week? May not be, because once the week has gone, or I may need to, because I'm doing full backup only once a month, then I will be doing the backup, weekly backup for entire month. Once the month is over, I will take the full backup and remove all the incremental backups. Differential backup. Differential backups is called only change data. Differential backup is the, I would say, least space consuming backup. Least space consuming backup, because it will back up only what has changed from the. So this is one differential backup happened to at 11 a.m. on Monday. So differential backups are like that, time by time. So differential backup D1 happens on 11 a.m. Monday. Then 1 p.m. Monday, I'm going to do D2. So it will check what was changed during this period. During this 2 hours time, whatever is changed in my data, I will back up only that. I will not back up everything else. In the incremental backup, it will back up everything for Monday, everything for Tuesday. Incremental is for new data. Differential backup only for change data and new data also. New data as well, definitely. Full backup is everything. Backup. So companies need to create policies on. So let me show you something. Example of backup policy. Organization. So it says that mission critical, continuous, every 15-minute, 30-day retention period. Retention period means how long you're gonna keep that backup, and what technology you are using. Now again, the technology is another level of discussion. So we have different technologies available for backup. A full backup is one, but there is a snapshot. Actually, incremental and differential are using this technology called snapshot. Now what is a snapshot is a whole altogether a different level of discussion. I don't want to get into that. But it is like daily incremental, monthly. So this is, we need to, every organization need to create a backup policy, and based on that backup policy, or based on how they're gonna protect their data. They create the backup policy, they create the retention period of the backup policy, or whatever the backup they are generating. For example, daily incremental, they are keeping it for 90 days. User data, daily incremental, keeping it for 30 days. Legal compliances, monthly for 7 years. Why 7 years? Because that is sometimes government policy also, that you have to keep the backup for certain period of time. Patient records, any kind of print media information, all that. It also depends on this recovery point objective and recovery time objective, that how frequently you should be taking your backup. So everything is related, and we need to find out this. You have to study a lot, you need to watch some videos, that how these things can be interlinked and helps us in creating this policy. You can't just do anything in haphazard way or without any set objective. Okay, so we do. And now, what kind of media we should be using for backup? Do I need to keep the backup in the live media? Should I keep the backup on site? Should I keep the backup off site? Should I keep the backup on the hard drives? Should I keep the backup on tape drives or tape libraries? A lot of discussion, or a lot of decisions you have to take. There is a separate team who only takes care of the backup part in the companies or in organizations. But there was a long back in the period of, for the period of 3 years, I worked for a company. This is very well-known company, HP, right? But they have their own backup software. So I was the instructor of their backup software. And there I learned a lot about backup, all the kinds of backups they do, the tape libraries they use. There are small tape libraries, then the large tape libraries, like a rack, like a bookcase, you can say. The tape library like a bookcase, and tape library like this box over there. So now again, this is here, RTU and RPU. Alright, that's all about this lesson as well. We are done, kind of officially. We completed all the lessons in this course, and now you are left with the exam that will be available to you on 6th. Okay, it will be available. So it is a timed exam. You will get extra time if you are supposed to. Right? If you have a special request for extra time, then you will get the extra time. Otherwise, you won't. And you should be here. It's not like you come here at 9:30 and 10 is the start time, and you are coming at 11 o'clock and asking for full time for the exam.
It starts at 10?
It starts at 10.
So at the same time.
I will allow you maximum 10:30. That means you may be late by half an hour, especially for you guys. Okay, please be on time.
And Mr. Sandeep, sir, the date was wrong. It was May 8th.
Oh, it's a due date. That's a due date. Okay, don't worry about that. Due date means you have to complete it before May 8th.
Oh, sorry,
So
sir.
how much time are we gonna have to finish it?
You will see it
Okay.
when you
Oh,
start the
alright.
test.
Alright.
Yeah, so I have a question. What would you recommend we study in preparation? Like the review questions after
See,
each chapter?
It's just go through the quizzes or the knowledge banks you may see during the chapters.
Okay.
Go through those knowledge banks. So maximum is 100 points. So there will be 50 questions in 90 minutes. Okay,
Alright.
50 questions, 90 minutes. Should be enough. More than a minute for a question.
And when are we allowed to take the practice exam?
Pardon?
When are we allowed to take the practice
It's at any
exam?
time, right?
Anytime.
I tried doing it and it said it wasn't. I wasn't allowed to access it yet.
He fixed this.
Again?
He fixed
Oh, he
it this
did.
morning.
Okay, gotcha.
Alright, thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah, now it is available. Actually, I didn't
Thank
know
you.
that. This is supposed to be created. I created it.
How many practice exams are there?
It's just one. It is, I would say that don't rely on the practice exam, okay? Go through it. If you do not know the answer of that question, take help from AI. Take help from AI for that question. Basically, it is giving you an idea what kind of questions may be there in the final exam. It is giving you an idea what kind of questions may be there in your final exam.
Are those the answers and questions that are going to be on the exam?
Pardon?
Are those the answers and questions that are going to be on the exam?
It may or may not be. Okay. It may be the same question or one or two questions may be exactly the same, but there this is just a sample. It is not the same exam what you are getting. Okay.
So that'll be all.
Yeah, that is all.